Good evening. My name is Thurman Greco, and I am the hostess of a show called Let's Live. And we have a very special guest here this evening that I'm going to ask to introduce herself. And we're going to start off talking about some sense organ things, but I'm sure we'll go on to other things as well. And Liz, tell us about yourself.
Good evening. My name is Liz Malgeri. I'm a registered dietitian, and I'm the director of the nutrition program over at Village Apothecary, which is now Village Apothecary instead of Woodstock Apothecary. Did you know we changed our name?
Oh, yes, but listen, let's talk about that. When did you change the name officially?
Within the last month.
Wow, so this is brand new news.
It is. Neil is now the sole owner of all of our stores. We had one in Saugerties that was always Village Apothecary, and he had a co-owner with that store, and when he came into Woodstock, he named it Woodstock Apothecary since he was the only owner in Woodstock. Now, Neil's co-owner has retired, and Neil's now the sole owner. So he decided, instead of having two Facebook pages and two websites to uphold, let's combine. And now we're opening a new location this month, well, within the month, in Lake Katrine, right across from Adams Fairacre Farms, and that will also be Village Apothecary.
Well, now, the place in Lake Katrine, that's in that new medical building they're putting up.
Yeah, it is.
Is it open?
Not yet. Very soon.
Well, what does very soon mean? Before New Year's or?
Oh my gosh, I would say within a month.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I would say, within a month, the groups will start coming in, and we're close to...
So they're going to be having doctors in that building within a month.
Absolutely. And I do want to say, we're not affiliated with Mid-Hudson Medical Group at all. They just asked us to come be a part of the building. So other doctors think we're like cheating on them, but like affiliating with a group, and we're not. We're still a sole practice.
Yes.
Sole proprietor practice, so...
Well, that's traditional throughout the country. When you have a medical arts building, you have an independent pharmacy there. Yeah. You don't have a chain.
Right. I've seen both. I've even seen, the actual medical group open their own pharmacy. Mm-hmm. So this is really nice. I mean, what a blessing for us, really, to have the ability to do this. I'm so excited about it. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, the building's huge. They're having an urgent care. There'll be a surgical suite amongst all of the other Mid-Hudson Medical Group offices that will be moving to the location in the area.
Wow.
Yeah.
So...
it's going to be a busy building.
And this is going to be opening up soon.
Soon. The goal was for the end of June. I do believe it's been pushed a little bit, as is always the case with construction, and that's okay.
Wow.
And so it's good. So we're moving along, and if anybody remembers Josh and used to get information from Josh at Woodstock or Village Apothecary, he'll be moving back to the area to come and work that store for us.
So he's going to be in Lake Katrine?
Yes.
Wow. Wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just, how many stores does that make now?
That makes 4.
Wow.
That makes 4.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. It's good, though. It's good.
The rule used to be, I don't know what it is now, but used to be, the rule was if anybody owned 5 of something, they had to have headhunters to hire their staff. So you guys are 1 store away from the agency.
It's interesting. I'll that up to Neil and see what he says. It is tough, though. I mean, everybody's spread a little thinner, but it's good. It's a good thing, and it's keeping us on our toes, and we're not bored.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Because, once you get 5 stores, it's really hard you have to kind of let go of some of the duties. Yeah. You have to outsource some.
And they've been working on that a little bit, but we're doing good. I'm pretty proud of us.
Now, I understand that you are giving some classes over at Village Apothecary.
Oh, yes. Every single month since January 2013. So we're working on 16 months now of classes every single month. And there's something that I teach in every single location. And it's really fun. We do them.
Oh, you go around to the different locations.
Yep. I prepare them. This is part of my gig. I prepare them, I write them, and then I present them. Right now in Saugerties and in Woodstock, 2 classes per location. And then we'll be doing them in the Kingston store as well.
So that'll be 6 classes a month.
Yes.
And are you doing any of these classes in the other store?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're being run. I personally am not. But I will go to the Connecticut store if a customer requests me. Sometimes I do go out there, and you bond with some customers, and they want to see you. So I do have a group of ladies that I go every month to see.
Well, you can throw in a training class when you go out to visit the girls.
Right.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, so this month's class is on Summer Slim Down. We wanted to sort of give everybody like a refresher on their New Year's resolutions.
Yes.
So, okay, it's summer now. You might have gotten off the wagon. Let's get you back on. So it's going to be like tips to go to summer barbecues and parties and not act a fool when it comes to your diet. So how you can go to those parties, enjoy them, and choose wisely. We're going to talk about hydration and what it really means and how important it is, which I think is a big topic that needs to be covered. And we're going to talk about maximizing produce at farmers markets and really the importance of shopping local and recipes. And it should be a really fun class. I'm excited about this one.
Do you have the dates of these classes?
Yes. I'm going to look at the calendar. I'm pretty sure it's 16th and 17th. It's that week in July. Wednesday in Saugerty's location, Thursday in Woodstock. And they're both at 2 p.m. and 6 p.m.
Very nice.
Yeah, so you can just call one of the stores, sign up.
And there's no charge.
Oh, yeah, no, it's free all the time.
That's fabulous.
Yeah, we have a really good time, and it's all original content. We're not stealing somebody else's stuff or, using somebody else's classes. It's all original content.
Well, now, when you talk about local produce, I have some ideas about why we should eat local produce. What are your ideas?
As to why?
Yes.
I think farmers are really important, especially independent farming, and I want them to stay afloat, because nutritionally, the biggest reason why I want people to shop local is once a plant has been picked, within hours it starts to lose key nutrients out of the plant. So when you have something in your regular grocery store that's been grown in South America or even California and been sitting in a gas environment, keeping it unripe, and then it's allowed to ripen once it's in the grocery store, I mean, the nutrient quality
it's
in
gone.
Those foods, it's really diminished. I mean, I can't say it's gone, but it's diminished. And if you've ever cut open a strawberry from the grocery store versus a strawberry straight from the farm, it's so different. The inside is white from the grocery store, and from a farm, it's this deep, vibrant red. And you can just see the nutrition. You can just see it, right? Have you ever done that?
Yes.
And so I love the idea of shopping local. One, to keep farmers here and afloat and doing well and being paid fairly. And two, to increase the nutrition quality of our food.
I also think that in this area, we need to eat local because we have the best produce in the country here.
Yeah.
Hands down. If we lived in another part of this country, I couldn't use that argument. But we really have the best. And I meet people all the time who say, "Oh, I can't eat from there. It's not organic." And in reality, I have learned through my work in the pantry that 99.9% of the farmers in this area, whether or not they say their produce is organic, it is organic. There's a lot of people out there who have produce that is organic, but they're not paying the freight on the little stickers and all of those things. They are just producing organic produce. And we need to trust in this.
Yeah. It's extremely expensive for a farm to become a certified organic farm. It's extremely expensive, and most small farmers would never be able to afford it.
Right, but they're doing it.
Right. The goal, you should be able to go to your farmer, go talk to them and ask them what their practices are.
Yes.
And to me, this is just my opinion, I'd much rather people eat produce, whether it's organic or not, than not eat produce at all.
Right.
And that's a huge problem that I'm seeing. People are just not eating produce because they can't afford organic.
Right.
So they're eating organic cereal and organic bread, and I'm like, just because it's not organic doesn't mean that it's completely devoid of nutrients,
Right.
I'd much rather somebody had a non-organic piece of kale than no kale at all.
Right.
I just would.
Well, but we don't even have to worry about that here. Mm-hmm. Now, if you buy produce that came from California or South America, that's another issue. But when you buy local produce, you don't have to worry about whether or not it's organic. It is organic. I have gone out and visited some of these farms. Yeah. The food that we are eating in the Hudson River Valley is holy. It is spiritual food. It is so wonderful. So why would we turn up our noses at this when we have this wonderful food available. And as you're saying, a lot of people are choosing to say no, which is bad for their health.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people can argue with me on this, and this is just my own theory, but I feel like the nutrients that are found in good, locally picked, fresh produce far outweigh the risk of any pesticide. That's just my own theory, but I would never give up, gorgeous berries or peppers or cucumbers or anything because they weren't organic or sweet. Right.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, we are so blessed in this area. I mean, both sides of the river to have amazing farms, so much choice, especially with animal proteins as well, with beef and pork and chicken. It's hard with fish, not gonna lie, but with farm animals, we have so many options. We have so many great local farms that are doing things right, raising the animals right, giving us meat that we can really trust and know that's not crazy inflammatory and know they're not being fed garbage, and we're so lucky. Mm-hmm. You talk to somebody, in a different part of the country, and it's just not like that.
Right.
We're so lucky.
So that's, that's how it is. So we are in agreement on that one. So that's absolutely very good. So we're here tonight to talk about skin and hair and eyes and
whatever else.
The sense organs, among other things. So what did you bring? Shall we start with the skin first?
Let's do that last.
Oh, okay. What would you like to start with?
Let's talk about eyes.
Okay. All right. Let's do.
Yes. Working in the apothecary, I am the front runner for questions about random health issues, and eye health seems to be something that's coming up much more frequently than ever before for me.
Really?
Yeah. Not necessarily like I need glasses and how can I fix that, because we know that really glasses or LASIK surgery are really the only things that are going to fix that, but more about prevention of things like macular degeneration, losing the eyesight, preserving eyes. I mean, that's really a huge topic. And there are some things with your eyes that you can't fix with nutrition, but macular degeneration is one. And so I thought we could talk about some nutrition. There have been a lot of studies about what you can do for your eye health, and you hear words like lutein. I don't know if any of these are familiar to you. Zeaxanthin, those are two antioxidants. Beta carotene, you hear about vitamin A, DHA, fish oil. These are all things, and a lot of eye products on the market today are loaded with synthetic versions of those items. They're chemically identical, but I do like the idea of getting those nutrients from food instead of from a chemical version of the same thing. I think our bodies know what to do with food way more than they know what to do with one isolated part of a food.
Right. Yes.
So something I brought, and I could have filled this table with all the fun things that we have at the store for the sense organs and specifically, but I wanted to bring this. This is called Green Nutrients.
Wow.
And this is made by Nutriplex Formulas. Nutriplex Formulas is, to me, one of the only true food-only supplement companies on the planet left. So that means there's no synthetic vitamins, no isolated vitamins, there's just foods. So this contains wheatgrass and alfalfa and parsley, dandelion, spinach, broccoli, all of the key green foods. So this is a great supplement to take if you're looking to get the nutrients of, say, some lutein, some astaxanthin, plus a lot of other things. You're getting all of the benefits of those foods in general for your entire body. So greens are great for your liver. They're great for, and I hate the word toxins, but they're great for toxins. And these, when customers come in asking for detox, I need something to cleanse the toxins out, or I need to cleanse my liver, I actually give them green nutrients, because green foods, green leafy vegetables are really what are going to give your liver the most support.
So this is your first stop if you want to have
Yes, we do have other supplements at the store. We have, like, Gaia Herbs makes one called Vision Enhancement that has bilberry and lutein and zeaxanthin and the other one.
There's enough.
There's a lot of different products in our store, and we can really pinpoint, because there's so many products in the market, and your basic pharmaceutical products, over-the-counter vitamins for your eyes, that are lacking. They're filled with food dyes. They're filled with really nasty fillers. They're synthetic. They contain similar nutrients, but just in a different avenue. And I'd rather people go as food friendly as possible. But taking green leafy vegetables like this is also really great for your skin. So if anybody's having skin issues, I'd love to put them on green nutrients.
Oh, really? This product?
Mm-hmm.
And so you do this if somebody wants to have a mild cleanse, you would do this.
Yeah.
If they have vision issues, you would do this. And if they have skin issues.
Yeah.
Well, what woman out there doesn't have skin issues?
I know.
Right. Do you know a woman who's satisfied with her skin?
No.
Neither do I.
No, it's like weight. No woman is ever satisfied with
No,
weight.
no. So this is wonderful. I do use all of the supplements that I take are this brand, but I have not taken these before. But now that you have mentioned this, and you mentioned skin, I must have this.
Okay.
I must have this. Very nice.
Yeah, and if you're really concerned, like say you have a really, your doctor gave you a diagnosis of macular degeneration, I'd have you come in, and I may not give you that specific one. I might give you a different, or I might give you a cocktail of different things, because it is interesting to play around with all of the things we have in the store and finding the right combination for each person, because not everybody's the same. Maybe not everybody should be on that. Or since it's a food supplement, maybe you're allergic to wheatgrass and you can't have it. So it's interesting and fun to come in, and we can really help figure out the right combo for you.
Well, now, what are the symptoms of macular degeneration? That's something that I really... What do you need to know about macular degeneration? If you have concerns about it, what do you need to know?
I mean, it's more like a deterioration of your cones and your retina. So if you're, I'm pretty sure with macular degeneration, you're seeing like a fuzzier blind spot. Please don't quote me on that. I'm not good with that.
So people come in, but they come in because they are afraid of having macular degeneration.
Afraid maybe, my mom has it terribly and I'm petrified of having it. She can barely, she can't drive anymore. I hear that. So they could either be afraid because they've seen a loved one go through it, or they've been diagnosed. And if you're early diagnosed and you'd always want to go through your eye doctor for that, then, there are things that you can do that can help to prolong your eyesight. A big one is taking fish oil. Big. So have you seen this yet?
No.
Okay, cool.
This is a new product.
It is.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is called Wiley's Finest. This is the only 100% American fish oil on the market that's purified properly. So I'm really happy with it. More than happy with it. I'm literally jumping up and down when we found this. One of the reasons why I like this brand is that they're the only brand of fish oil to maintain this MSC seal for sustainability. So if you're worried about the environment or what this fishing is doing for the environment, this company gives a hoot.
Wow.
They really care. What they use is wild Alaskan pollock, and they use pollock that's already been filleted for food. Mm-hmm. So they're pressing the heads, they're pressing the other parts of the fish that are like the leftovers. Those are what they're using for the fish oil. So they're not fishing and killing just for the fish oil. So it's being used many times, and I think that's amazing, and that's really why they were able to get that seal.
That's wonderful.
And they're purifying it properly, and they're having every batch tested by a third party, which is so important. That's everything I would want to see from a fish oil company, is they have their own fishery, they care about the environment in which they're fishing, they're fishing, and then they're purifying properly, and they're bottling properly, and they're giving it to people at a dose that, at a concentration that they wouldn't have to take, drink the bottle in one day to get one dose, or take 20 soft gels, which is often seen on the market. Soft gels are barely filled with fish oil. People would have to take anywhere from 6 to 25 a day, depending on concentration. It drives me up the wall. So this, to get a high dose, and I mean a high dose of fish oil, is about 1.5 teaspoons.
Oh, this is great. Okay.
And I have to say, we're doing a fish oil challenge in the store. This is so good, you'd never know it came from fish. So we're doing a fish oil challenge. If you come in and you taste it, we're giving everybody 10% off their fish oil purchase if you decide to buy it. And you don't have to buy, but you come in and taste it. It tastes... I actually thought they were pulling my leg when we got it. I thought it was like soybean oil or something with lemon added to it. I was like, there's no way. There's no way. It's amazing. As far as fish oil goes, it's amazing.
That's wonderful.
I look forward to it, which is, who the flip looks forward to fish oil?
Well, and that makes it much better with children.
Yeah.
Because I can remember fish oil as a child. You know, my mother, my neighbor's mother coming out and saying, okay, it's time, and kids all over the neighborhood scattering.
If you want your kids to leave you alone, pull out the cod liver oil.
Yes, exactly. So this is good.
This is nothing like that. And in fact, the generation that did have that nasty cod liver oil every day, they're no. Not enough. And if I can convince them enough to try it, they're always blown away. So
yeah,
it's fun for me just because I like to see people try it. It's been my most favorite thing we've done in the store. So anytime anybody wants to try it, come in. I'll be there all weekend. So you can come in and give it a try.
Very good.
And the reason why that's great for your eyes is really the specific omega-3 called DHA that's in there. DHA is great for your eyes, nervous system, brain development, and health. So that's one of the reasons why that's great for your eye health.
Very good.
And then for eyes, you want to make sure you're eating the right kind of fat every day because fat makes a big difference in your eyes and in your nervous system, really. So if you have a farm where you can go and you've seen those chickens run around, buy those eggs, eat a couple every day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The nutrition in an egg is fantastic for your eyes. Fantastic. And I have never seen one legitimate study showing that the cholesterol in eggs affects human cholesterol. So don't worry about that. To me, the ideal breakfast for anybody would be an egg or two every morning from a good farm-raised chicken that's running and able to eat grass and bugs, and a cup and some veggies. Maybe a piece of sprouted grain toast.
Yes.
That's it. You know, I mean, 2 eggs, to me, they're a superfood. If you get the right kind of eggs. The ones in the supermarket.
Right.
If you've ever compared egg yolks from supermarket to a farm egg, it's like night and day.
Right.
Farm egg is big and orange, right? Have you ever seen it's like this?
Right.
You can just see the nutrition where these cartoned eggs are tiny little yolks. They're the wimpy yolks.
Yes.
These light yellow, tiny little.
Yes.
And when you see them side by side, it's a no-brainer. I mean, it's just obvious what's going on.
Yeah, and also in this country, people do not realize the importance of eggs. We went through the whole thing with the cholesterol back in the 60s, I think. And of course, tests have, and our knowledge of nutrition have gone a long way. But I spent some time in some third world countries, and I can tell you that I have seen people who were suffering with a lack of nutrition, who, if they were finally able to get access to 1 egg a day, saw a complete difference in their bodies, a huge difference. People who had been sick for years were now well because they were able to eat an egg. So eggs are very important for us. They're extremely important. But I do have one question to ask about this.
Yeah.
If you're going to begin to take a product for macular degeneration, how long should you take it before you expect to see a difference or feel a difference or whatever?
It depends. Technically, it may or may not reverse it. It's helping to make it not get worse.
Right.
So you may or may not see a difference in it getting better, or you may. Everybody's so different. It's really to help to prevent worsening.
Right. So the point that we're making here is that once you decide to get in the war against macular degeneration, you trust in the system. You take the product and realizing that if what you have is the best it's going to be, if you can just keep it there, you're accomplishing a great deal.
So much.
Yes.
But taking fish oil, that's a little bit different. So taking fish oil for macular degeneration, you might all of a sudden be like, oh, I can move my shoulder a lot higher than I was able to, or I'm not croaking in pain every morning when I get out of bed. Or by 8 o'clock at night where you're normally wiped out on the couch, you might feel like I could go meet a friend for a drink. Like there's a lot of things that these subtle changes people will feel when they take fish oil regularly because we need it. We need those omega-3s. They're essential to our body. And if we're not supplementing them in our diet or in a supplement like this, you're going to feel effect of it. It's something we need. We're also obsessed with multivitamins, but we're getting a lot of those vitamins from our food. We're not getting omega-3 from our food. And flax, chia, and hemp really just don't count.
Right.
They give us an omega-3 called ALA, and about 5% of the ALA in your body gets converted to EPA and DHA. So it's just such a small amount that I wouldn't even consider it beneficial.
Yes. Yeah. And you did say something here just a few sentences back, which I think is important. Everybody, and this takes us back to, again, the 60s, when we finally realized, okay, we do need nutrients. So the idea was to find yourself a multiple vitamin that you could take once a day. And I can remember when the vitamin craze finally came in, people would say, well, this is so much vitamins. We would take vitamins for 6 days, and then on the 7th day wouldn't. But now the feeling is that a multiple vitamin really doesn't do it. Am I correct?
Well, here's the thing. Here's what is in your basic synthetic multiple vitamin. You have a chemically identical vitamin, one thing that's found in food. Say any given orange maybe has 20,000 compounds in it, from enzymes to phytonutrients, antioxidants, fiber, vitamins, minerals in it. So you're taking from that orange and making in the lab, not taking from food, one component out of 20,000 and giving it to your body at thousands of more times than your body can absorb in one day.
Right.
And that's your basic multivitamin.
Right.
And for a long time, it's thought, well, my diet, if it stinks, I can take a multivitamin to fill in the gaps. I'll be healthy and strong. But there's a lot of research coming out now that giving your body these huge doses of this just one thing is more harmful than it is good.
Right.
And they're all coming from gross sources. It's not like they're coming from anything healthy or from food. You know, most vitamin A in supplements in the market is derived from acetone, which is the chemical used for nail polish remover. It's not coming from carrots and egg yolks.
Right.
You know, vitamin C, ascorbic acid, it's the chemically identical vitamin C that's found in oranges, but this time it's made from corn syrup and acetone. That's how they make it.
Right.
It's nothing healthy. And over time, at these super high doses, you know, vitamin C is now being shown to harden the outside of your arteries. Synthetic vitamin B complexes, stress complexes have been slowly shortening women's lifespan. Because we're giving ourselves these massive doses of things our body can't absorb at one time. And yes, a lot of times we're paying for expensive pee. Yeah. You know, these vitamins, but they're also doing other things.
Right.
In your body, and that's frightening.
Yes.
You know, when you think about food, and if you actually looked at a supplement facts from an apple, the amount of vitamins in there, percentage-wise, would be, you know, 3% of what, you know, 6%, 20%, not 300, 1,000,
right.
500%. Because your body knows what to do with food, right?
Right.
And so it knows what to do with those amounts, and it knows how to handle that. So you're throwing all these chemicals in the mix.
Right.
I don't buy it.
Right. We go for this. Yeah, this is much better.
The things that we have at the store, I mean, first we really want to change your diet. I had somebody the other day who was like, so how do you expect to make money in this business? I come in here and you're telling me I don't need half the supplements that I'm on, and you're telling me to eat more food, and you're not charging me for your time. Do you guys want to be around for a while? And I laughed. I'm like, I know, it's weird. We really try to get people off most of their supplements because it's not about us making money off you. It's us figuring out how to keep you healthier so you feel better. And the least amount you're on, the more likely you are to be consistent, you know?
Yes.
And the supplements we recommend are always going to be from this line because these are just foods.
Right.
There's nothing in here but food. Your body knows what to do with food. And all of those 20,000 components of all the different foods are still here.
Right.
They're not gone. I'd say about 90% of the nutrition of the foods that this started with are still in these bottles.
Yes, and that's what you want. That's what you want.
Yeah.
And I notice also that you don't keep a huge stock, so the stuff kind of comes in and goes out pretty quickly. It doesn't hang around long enough to get stale, which is really good.
Let's be honest, there are some hits and misses. Right?
Well,
there are some things I bring in that just don't move, and that's okay. We learn.
Yes.
But as far as these, I mean, I'm ordering thousands of dollars a week in inventory. And
well, now, what is this one for?
So, if you ever come into the apothecary, you see, I call it the wall of green. We have a lot of different bottles. This one, of all of them, is my personal favorite.
Really?
Mm-hmm. This is called Inflaplex. And Inflaplex is an entirely food derived, or I guess everything in here is food. There's no chemicals. And this is excellent for acute or chronic injury, inflammation, arthritis, all kinds of inflammatory problems. And it's just made with a lot of foods. There is animal product in here. There's glandulars from grass-fed cows. So if you're vegan or vegetarian or you have an issue with that, it's something to think about. But this helps to provide your body the nutrients that it needs to heal itself. And I have to say, first, I brought it because of the sense organs, because I'm Italian, but if anybody looks at my nose real closely, it's been broken a few times. And I struggle all the time with congestion because of just the trauma that I've had to my nose. And if I'm really, most of the time I don't take this, but if I'm really having a rough day, or I have a cold, or I just really can't breathe good, taking a bunch of these reduces the inflammation dramatically, and I can breathe again. And it helps me taste my food better, and I just feel so much better when I'm taking this for a lot of reasons. But I've been, small injuries before. You hurt your knee, or, I have a little one, so you never know what's going to happen. And I've taken this a few times a day when I get injured, and I really do feel like it helps me heal quicker. It just helps me provide the nutrients to my body that it needs to just heal.
Well, now, would you take Inflaplex every day?
You could. Oh, yeah.
And it says you take one. So if your maintenance dose would be one, but then if you suddenly had a bruise or a runny nose or something, how many would you take?
All right, remember, everybody's different, and this is just suggestion. Right?
Okay.
Generally, I would never just take one of this, or any of the food or the items from this line. And it's not because I want you to just be, swallowing pills all day. It's because they're from food, and it's hard to squish food down into a one a day.
Right.
So with this, if you're having just chronic pain, a lot of people do like 2 of them twice a day and do great. If you're having an acute injury, say you got injured exercising, or you broke something, or anything, if you fractured a hip or anything, any kind of injury where you're having a lot of inflammation, I'd have you take a lot. Like upwards of 12 to 15 of them a day. And you can't overdose. It's just food.
Let me say this. Working in the pantry,
yeah,
I am injured all the time. I mean, that's just part of it. I bump into people. We fall over the food. We lift it's just, that's part of the business.
Yeah.
So I might take like 6 a day, more than one. I mean, just might take more. But what do you just take it till you don't have the pain?
Yeah.
So you take it like aspirin.
Kinda. You can play with this, and you don't have to worry about it like aspirin. It's like, you have to wait every 4 hours to take it. It's just food.
Wow.
So you can take anywhere from 2 a day to 15 a day.
Okay. All right.
But it's not a cheap product, and I don't think any food product should be cheap, because you want them grown properly. You want them grown without, a ton of pesticides. You want them grown without GMOs. You want them dried properly, which is really important. So we could have all these beautiful, amazing foods that are in here, and then spray dry them, which is super high heat, and just obliterate all the nutrition. But it's cheaper and faster. So this company uses a very slow method. Window pane refractance is the type of drying it's called, and it's really like almost room temperature drying, and it keeps everything intact. And it's really important to do that, because if you're going to spend the money on these, they better darn work. They better give you the nutrition.
But this is kind of like first aid in a bottle?
Yeah.
Would that be correct?
Real first aid. So it's food. Your body knows what to do with food.
Okay.
So I always want you to change your diet first, but in instances where you need some help, this is such a great product.
Okay.
Such a great product.
So now, you say that this is good for people with arthritis?
Yep.
I mean, 80% of the world has arthritis.
These 2 things right here are my most favorite things for arthritis.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yep.
Inflaplex and the fish oil.
Yeah. There's no turmeric here, any of that, which I'm not against turmeric. I think it's wonderful. However, turmeric acts very similarly to Advil. It's sort of like a Band-Aid on the bullet hole.
Okay.
So turmeric's great for reducing pain quickly, but it doesn't supply your body nutrients to heal or in any way alleviate the problem. and where fish oil and the combination of foods in here might.
So if you and that's interesting that you brought up turmeric, because my oldest daughter is really, for whatever reason, she has attached herself to turmeric.
Yeah.
It's on the table,
Oh, wow.
So what you're saying is turmeric really is like aspirin.
Kind of.
Yes.
It's kind of like
whereas this actually does try to works to heal.
It supplies your body what it needs to heal the best that it can from anything.
Okay. So, and this deals with inflammation.
Mm-hmm.
And does turmeric deal with inflammation as well?
Yep.
But it eases the discomfort.
Right.
It does not reduce the swelling.
It does. But it's not like it's almost like a short-term thing. So if you had an injury where you needed turmeric to feel better, you'd need it all the time. This, you might only need to take for a short course if you were injured, and you wouldn't need it anymore once you were better.
Oh, okay.
So it sort of aids in the healing.
Okay.
It's pretty cool.
It's
so I'm not against turmeric at all. In fact, I think Gaia Herbs turmeric line is fantastic. They actually have an allergy product. So if you're having issues with your nose right now from allergies, Gaia makes this allergy product that has turmeric in it for the inflammation in your airways, and quercetin for antihistamine, and nettles for inflammation and antihistamine. And it's a really neat product, and I can't even keep it in stock. So there's that. I mean, there is help.
Now, is that a pill or is that something?
That's pills, liquid capsules.
Wow.
If you do have issues with high blood pressure, you want to be careful using something natural for allergies, because nettles and specifically can really mess with your blood pressure. Mm-hmm. And we don't want anybody to either bottom out or spike.
Right.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
But you can if you have allergies, because right now allergies are affecting everyone.
It's so true.
It's really interesting out there. And there's an interesting theory out there, and finding an allergist is a real challenge.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of allergists that believe that beyond a certain age that the allergy shots aren't going to work. Mm. And I cannot find an allergist in this area because I'm way past 70, and people just look at me like, well, lady, if you haven't dealt with it by now, forget it. It's not going to work. So then we must go to something else.
Sure. I mean, there are traditional methods of, say, Claritin or Zyrtec or Allegra, but if you don't want to go those routes, to me, those are going to be the most effective, though, for the most part. But if you don't want to go that route, yeah, there are some great natural products out there.
Do they all affect your blood pressure?
Mostly it's nettles, and nettles are in almost all natural allergy products, so you just have to be very careful.
Okay.
A lot of big misconception with natural products is that they can't hurt you.
Oh, I know. Yes. Can we talk about that?
Yes.
Can we talk about that?
Yes.
I hear that all the time. I have students, I have clients who say, oh, I'm taking this and it cannot hurt. My stand is, if it's strong enough to help you and it is taken for the wrong reason, it can hurt you.
Yeah. I would even just cut out that middle part. If it's strong enough to help you, it's strong enough to hurt you.
Yes.
Here's the thing. Most people get freaked out by pharmaceuticals. Say you're reading your favorite magazine and you see the ad for a pharmaceutical and you flip the page and the back is just the tiniest of print. All of the different things that could happen, side effects, whatnot. And it looks frightening. Okay, pharmaceuticals look frightening. If supplements were ever studied to the extent that pharmaceutical drugs need to be studied in order to be FDA regulated and approved, there would be pages of those too.
Yes.
But they're not. There's nobody researching them to the extent that the pharmaceutical companies have to research their drugs.
Right.
To determine, side effects, long-term effects. It's just not, it doesn't exist. So it's not like, say, ginkgo or something is completely safe and won't harm you. It's just that it's not studied enough.
Right.
Or any of the other natural products. There's really only a few that have been studied enough to really have concrete side effects and evidence. Fish oil would be one of them.
Yes.
Certain mushrooms are also one of them. There's a certain mushroom called crestin from Japan that's one of the most studied substances on the planet. For years and years and years and years and years, hundreds of years it's been studied, but not everything.
Right.
And properly and from the right people
Right.
who are doing it right. And so just because it doesn't have a page of side effects does not mean that they're not there. It just means it's not studied.
Right.
Yeah. It's scary.
Yeah.
It's frightening. I mean, it really is true. If, which I don't think will happen, if supplements ever become FDA regulated, all of that second page will be there.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I mean,
Yes.
it's just the way that it is.
Oh, you do not think that will happen? I don't think it's going to happen now because our government's not into doing anything right now.
I don't think we're going to see that in our lifetime.
Well, maybe not in my lifetime. But, you know,
I'd be interested to see that happen.
Yeah. It would be interesting to see it happen because there's a lot out there that is not good, that people think is good, but at the same time, our government now is they don't even want to offer school to children. Why should they, and there are no inspectors anymore. It's just really, the testing part is kind of gone by the wayside.
Well, it's not even that. It's the amount of money in lobbying and in the supplement industry now. It's never gonna. I just don't see this ever.
Yeah, not going to happen.
But it is interesting. Just thinking about what would happen. You have a certain doctor on TV recommends a supplement as the fat burning du jour.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, these fly-by-night companies pop up, and they're offering this medicine or this supplement, and nobody has any idea what's in there. They're saying it's green coffee bean or raspberry ketones, but it could be the drywall on this wall ground up and put in a capsule. I mean,
right.
There's no regulation. So just because it's in a health food store or any store does not mean that what's in there is what's in there, that it's not contaminated, it's not loaded with heavy metals. And
right.
I could talk about this one all day. I love this stuff. It's crazy. You know what? This industry has very few companies with integrity because it doesn't call for integrity.
Right.
And that's something we work so hard to find are companies that will prove to us what they're doing. A third-party test result. I mean, it's the boring stuff that nobody really likes to talk about, but that's the stuff that's most important, is making sure these companies are doing what they're saying, that they're transparent enough to show me that they're not loaded with arsenic, or their fish oil isn't ridiculously high in rancidity or oxidation or heavy metals or mercury or something.
Well, and of course there are certain kinds of supplements and certain kinds of herbs which are, as far as I'm concerned, suspect for me. For example, I would never in any of my classes, and I don't think it will be on my blog, and it will not be in my book, there will never be a discussion of Chinese herbs because we don't know what we're getting.
I completely agree.
There's
so refreshing.
I'm not going there.
Yeah.
I'm not going there. So another one is your Ayurvedic medicines. Mm-hmm. I'm just not going there. Mm-hmm. And I know that there are a lot of them out there that work. They're wonderful, but I don't know which ones are which.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to start talking about, for example, Ayurvedic medicines, the people who read the book and the blog and who watch the show may not hear the part. All they hear is just Ayurvedic medicine, right. And they show up at a store, right. And if the clerk doesn't know, or right. Even if the clerk does know,
right.
But can't do anything about
right.
it because the management or the owner says this product is going to sell, it's going on the shelves, and whether or right. not it works.
Oh, that's the case in most health food stores.
Yes.
Yeah. We go through this a lot. Chinese herbs are something we get asked for all the time. We search all the time. We're always looking at new products. Nobody can prove to us that their Chinese herbs aren't loaded with heavy metals. And it's not like China's dirty and that's the way it is. China's soil is just extremely rich in heavy metals.
Yes.
And we haven't been able to find anything that's not clean enough.
Right.
So it's... People think we're just discriminating against an entire medicine practice. It's not that. If there was something that was safe, I would carry it in a minute.
Right.
I just can't find one. And
right.
I would love if anybody had any ideas of one. I mean, I started trying low. I'm sure they've seen them all. But if you know one that you know is clean. Mm-hmm. And the cleanliness is the most important thing when it comes to supplements. Not even the supplement. Is it the right thing that you're looking for? Has it been contaminated? Has it been adulterated? Has it been tested? I mean, those things are way more important than anything else.
Right.
It's crazy.
Because when you start purchasing these things, the chances are pretty good that at some point in your life you're going to pick up a product that you think is right for you but probably isn't. So the important thing is that if you are taking something that probably isn't right for you at this time, at least it's clean.
Yeah, you have that. But I mean,
and that's
right.
That's your basic thing there.
Right. I mean, it's so tough, and it's so hard to know if things are going to be safe for you. And you want to say check with your doctor before taking a supplement, but doctors, unfortunately, most of them are not trained in supplements, and so it's really hard to know. And that's where we try and come in handy there. I have a license, and I've been trained in pharmaceuticals. So, and then we have pharmacists on staff. So together we can look at your meds, your background history, your labs if you want, and what you're currently taking with prescriptions and supplements, and figure out if this is the right thing for you, or if this could potentially bottom out your blood pressure, or cause serotonin syndrome. That's the Dr. Oz special last year was Garcinia cambogia for weight loss, and this huge study was just released saying that Garcinia paired with SSRIs, which are like antidepressants, Paxil, Lexapro, things like that, together will cause a deadly condition called serotonin syndrome. That's frightening, and you hear it on the TV show, and off you go running to the store to get it, and it could be causing an issue, and it's frightening.
Yes.
So we try and be that guide for you to tell you this is going to work for you, this is probably not the best idea for you, and here's why, and here's proof.
Right.
No other store can do that with real legit studies. Just can't.
Do you offer a nutritional analysis for someone?
Sure.
Is that something that you guys offer?
Yeah.
Do you charge for that?
No, anybody can come sit down with any one of us for as long as it takes. It could be 20 minutes, it could be 2 hours.
Whatever it depends upon what your issues are,
Yeah.
what you're taking,
Yeah.
what your goal is,
Yeah.
all of those things. So it's individual.
Yeah.
That is something that's extremely important, and I really personally think that everybody should get a nutritional analysis. I don't know how often. I think 5 years, but that's really not often enough because your body can change within 5 years.
Yeah, your needs can change. I would say see somebody come in and do a review at least once a year. It's free. It's not like it's like an hour of your time. I'd really like to see people every 6 months.
Oh,
or every
really?
3 months. Why not?
Right.
5 minutes. Check in. How are you doing? How is it going? What are you still taking?
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was drawing it out too far, and you think 6 months is much better. See,
check in. It doesn't need to be an appointment. Come in, bring your bag. Let's look at everything. Let's make sure. Let's find out what your life's like, what you're going through. Do you still have the same issues, or what? Everybody's so different.
That's very true. What is your life like?
Mm-hmm.
My life has changed dramatically in the last 6 months, and because of the changes, I've changed.
Yeah.
And it isn't just aging, it's the life activities, daily activities have changed. And so when daily activities change, then you've got issues. We just have a few minutes left, and we haven't touched any of these over here.
Okay.
Now everybody gets excited when you mention Dr. Hauschka. Why is that?
Dr. Hauschka is just at the top of their game when it comes to clean, natural, plant-based, botanical skincare. There's nothing like it besides Weleda, which is another great brand. They're both from Germany. They both have very similar philosophies. Similar, not the same. But they really avoid chemicals, harsh exfoliants, anything in their products. Everything is gentle, made for your particular skin types. And usually the philosophy that you hear from us about Dr. Hauschka is radically different than any other philosophy that you would hear from anywhere else. Like Dr. Hauschka does not recommend a night cream, for example, or any cream at night, because they believe your skin is doing most of its renewal processes at night, and the cream will inhibit that. So it's little things like that that are kind of really surprising and bizarre. But once you decide to choose to go on a Dr. Hauschka journey, it's amazing how your skin will transform. I was always a product junkie. Every 2 weeks at the supermarket or Target buying something new because I was bored, nothing looked good, whatever. I've been consistently on this product for about 18 months with no desire to change. I mean, my skin is radically different. It was always a mess, and it feels like real skin now. It feels like it's not dry and peely and flaky, and it feels just like normal skin. And that's what a lot of people say, that just their skin feels real again. It feels like it's clean, it's healthy, it's moisturized, it's supple. So it's pretty neat.
Well, how do you know when you go and you look at all the products on the shelves? Because even at Woodstock Apothecary, when you guys are so careful that you really don't overload people, it's confusing. How do you know which one of what to get?
I've been trained specially by the company to be able to help with people. I can't actually touch your skin because I'm not an esthetician, but I can help you figure out what kind of skin you have and what your needs might be. The thing I really like about Dr. Hauschka is that they have these little sample packs, around $17. Inside is about a week or two of their products, so that you can try them before you buy them, in full size, because they're not cheap. And I really like that you'd have 2 weeks worth of cleanser, enough toner, enough 3 kinds of moisturizers to see which one you like the best, and maybe a mask or 2. And they have 2 different packs, one for dry skin and one for oily skin. And it's so much fun to watch somebody try that and come back weeks later and gimme. I need.
So, do they use the same cleanser for everyone?
There's 2 cleansers. One is a milk, which is what I brought tonight, and that's a fluid lotion type cleanser. And then there's also a cream, which has a very mild exfoliant in there. And they don't want you to be doing this when you use an exfoliant, because scrubbing is for the floor. You're really supposed to pat on an exfoliant like this, which is silly, but you could watch their YouTube videos, and the girl is literally just...
Oh, really?
And it's silly feeling, but you feel such a difference when you do it that way. And it always makes me laugh in the shower to do that.
Wow.
But you don't want to scrub because you'll disrupt your acid mantle, and that's really important. That's where your hydration and everything lies, and it will really disrupt that. And their products are made to not disrupt the normal, everyday rhythm of your skin. So,
do women who use Dr. Hauschka products, do they use a lot of makeup?
Generally, no. That's just an interesting question, but I do find that a lot of women that use this don't use makeup. I personally do. I love makeup. It's one of my favorite parts of the day, but not everybody does. But you really, once you're using this for a while, your skin starts to act normal. It's not irritated. It's not inflamed. It's not red, and it's just not irritated. I guess the big thing, you could go without makeup.
Well, that's the whole thing. When I was in Virginia, I worked at for several years at a spa that was a wellness spa. It was owned by women, and we did offer facials. And I primarily taught reflexology and Reiki and those things, but I was trained to give facials. And Virginia has the strangest laws or lack of laws or whatever having to do with aesthetics. So I went to esthetician school, and I will never be the most fabulous esthetician in the world. That just is not part of my makeup. But I did learn, and I agree, that makeup is not necessary. It's fun for parties. It's fun if you want to get fancy. But on the day-to-day thing, and I have not worn makeup in years as a result of this training. But so when you talk about not having a cream at night, so then you need to have your creams in the daytime to do the good for the therapy.
And it will feel very tight and dry for a few weeks at night. It's going to feel weird, but soon your body will start producing its own oils again. And when you hydrate from within, it's totally different than when you're just throwing hydration on with a cream.
Now, do you have a mask with Dr. Hauschka?
Oh
my goodness, are we down to 1 minute? Well, that's over. We're going to...
we could just do Dr. Hauschka next time.
Okay, we'll do this next time. This has been a wonderful program, and thank you so much for coming. And we'll see you again soon. And thank you very much. We're going to be on YouTube soon. Good evening.